Hello and welcome to The Secret Mind. My name's Jules and I've decided to put the microphone in shot just to really show you how technologically advanced I am, even if I can't say those two words very well. I'm going to talk to you about listening. I have a project coming up about communicating in the style of a doctor, but this is just sort of general listening. So it's kind of I've just written it up as a blog, so I'm going to read it out rather than me rattle on unprepared. Have you ever thought that the world isn't listening to you? People talk about being seen. They talk about being heard. Have you ever accused somebody of not listening to you? You know those ones, the ones who need to stare at their phone when you're talking to them, and they offer their weak claim that they are the ones capable of multitasking. Those horrific people. The ones that are radiating that whatever it is that you have to say isn't worth anything more than 10% of their objective concentration. At least you get to know your own value. Your value to them, I mean. Or have you ever appealed to somebody? Listen to me. You know what they say next. You know as well as I do. I am listening to you. They defend. They don't engage with their voice or their generosity of eye or even the direction their knees are pointing. No, they defend with their attitude. This may be in a relationship, or it might, for example, be at work. If you have a problem, the system may dictate that you may have to go to see your supervisor or your line manager. Their job is to listen to you, to do the listening. But how well? Many of their jobs are actually to prevent your voice being heard any further. You might return from that meeting with this thought. She didn't listen. He didn't listen. They didn't listen to me. They don't listen to me. They don't listen to us. Because you felt unheard. You weren't heard. They will defend with this. I did listen to you. They may have jotted down some notes to prove it, in their own interpretation, of course, and possibly with their own yardsticks, their own judgment, with their own thinly disguised professional hopes written into their conclusions, none of which are helpful to you, or frankly, part of the deal that you think you're making. To you, then, you weren't heard. Yet they will tell you, I did hear you, but you weren't heard. But I did hear you. You weren't listening. I listened to you very carefully. But you didn't hear. I did hear you. What you can't see are the brackets, the parentheses, the bit where they silently, invisibly say, and I decided your thoughts were not to be acted upon. Because this is the feedback you never get. It's kept secret. You've assumed a process is going on. But that is a delusion. The words listening and hearing are used as though there is some spectacular difference between them. That difference is something closer to active listening. I'm sure when I learnt about active listening in terms of medical history taking, it was to do with picking up on points and re-prosecuting certain points, focusing in on what you needed, narrowing down your questioning technique, having started with an open technique, teasing out what you needed in order to find something that you knew might help the other person. That is the dance of the doctor. In normal life, that's not really what you're getting in a communication. So if you feel that nobody is listening, it might hurt. If you don't feel as though you've been heard, it cuts. If you talk to somebody who believes they're doing active listening, somebody who tells you that you are both listened to and heard, what's missing? I think what's missing is action. If it's a line manager at work, their job may be to make sure your observations, claims, or whinges, if they want to dismiss it, is that it's not heard anywhere else. But we need the whingers. We need the people brave enough to complain, to stand up, to point things out, to expect to be heard, to expect to be listened to, and to act when they're not. We need whistleblowers. We need critics, critique, complainers. We need bravery and perseverance. Or the system is there to silence you with sham listening, with placebo hearing, dummy dialogue until you tire. How long can you keep it up for? 5 years? 10 till you're 30, 40, 50 years old? When will you surrender and give up? When your own nest is feathered enough? When you've become the person who shunned you? Maybe you're already part of the problem. Has somebody complained to you? Maybe you've accused somebody of being a whinger, quashed their bravery, helped to engineer the dystopia of silence, stopped the echoes bouncing. Why would you do that? There might be an excuse for doing it to, say, your own 5-year-old. To an adult, never. But even then, must you? Have the words, "stop whinging," ever passed your lips? They haven't mine. What value are they? Please, enlighten me. Because you just made yourself the problem. It's not just that you're not hearing people or not listening to people. You're not seeing people. It's you where the problem is. Someone else is dancing. You don't know the steps, so you shut them down, close them off, and silence them. It's unnecessary. It's harmful. It's ugly. Because all that does is turn the unheard into the unseen. This isn't about being heard. It's not about making change in the world. It's about something else at that point. Some of the people to whom you complain that the relationship or something at work, whatever it is, that you feel you haven't been listened to or heard or engaged, is because change hasn't happened. Your observations have not led to change or even helped broker some new mutual understanding. So what happens now? There's a failure of process. For the business you work for or for the other person in the relationship, the outcome may be satisfactory. You've been silenced. Time has passed. Things have been forgotten about. But they haven't, have they? You were unheard. We're all kind of used to this to some degree, but you've been turned into the unseen. And the unseen are dangerous. Have you noticed civil unrest anywhere? Now you know why. Things have just got a whole lot worse. Something's bubbling up. You're going to need to retrace your steps, wonder where it went wrong, wonder why you weren't understood, wonder why you were hurt, why it's always you that isn't seen. And there's danger in the unseen. For everyone. Be careful. Take care. See you tomorrow.